Hello Science Alliance, I am Lara, this is Theory of Science. I stream free live lessons into internet. I'm actually trained to teach physics up to A level, so I do stream free live IGCSE physics lessons. I've streamed free live all ages lessons. The lessons have free printouts, they ask you questions, they exercise your brain. This is not that, is it? This is the Lego story show where I tell you a story with Lego at the end. Do you want to see it? It's all set up. Should I show it? It's looking nice today actually. Here we go. Look. Oh, it's good. And we do an activity, and I'm really excited about this one, even though we've done it before. I love it. And I chat to you about a thing that you wanted to learn about, and you wanted to learn about red squirrels versus grey squirrels. So let's do it now. If you've got a toilet roll, your life is a bit easier. I didn't have a toilet roll. If you couldn't find a toilet roll in your house, for the activity you need a mug and some sort of quite heavy-ish ball thing that fits inside the mug. Classically, the activity is done with an orange, but if you don't want to bruise an orange or you don't have an orange, you could use sort of any bit of fruit that fits in your mug, or you could use, if you had like a big ball of Play-Doh, that works really well as well. No one's got that much blue tack, right? But you know what I mean? Maybe you've just got a ball in your house which is a bit heavy, which fits in a mug. You need one of those, you need a bit of cardboard, and you need a toilet roll. I don't have a toilet roll, so I'm going to have to make my toilet roll. It works really well if you just get a piece of A4 paper and fold it in half lengthways and then make that into a toilet roll. You see what I mean? So if you've got some sellotape and some scissors and a bit of A4 paper, it can be scrap. Fold it in half and roll it into, everyone knows what a toilet roll looks like, just roll it into the shape of a toilet roll. It does have to be a hollow tube like that, and then sellotape it. So toilet roll-less people, you be doing that while I'm chatting, okay? Right, red squirrels versus grey squirrels. I'm sorry, because a lot of you, you're all over the world, you lot, watching these lessons, and this is going to be quite UK focused. I am in the UK, and there are two different species. I know some of you are going to say three, we'll talk about that. There are two different species of squirrel in the UK, but only one of them is what we call native to the UK. One of them occurs naturally in the UK and is part of the kind of natural food chain. And one of them was introduced, was brought over here and comes from America. I'm not going to tell you like how and why, because that would be a spoiler for story time. But do you know which one is which? Is it the red squirrel or the grey squirrel? My child got this wrong because they were sort of quite obviously thinking about the squirrels that they see most often. So it's the red squirrels that are native to the UK, the red squirrels that are naturally here, and the grey squirrels that humans like interfered and brought grey squirrels to the UK. And guys, this is what a rare Theory of Science show where we're doing like, usually we do sloth versus pigeon for funsies, but the red squirrel versus grey squirrel is an actual versus situation because they both live in the UK. And the grey squirrel is very much winning. It's what we call an invasive species. I've made my toilet roll out of paper, there you go. So there used to be about 3.5 million red squirrels in the UK, and then the grey squirrels came along, and now there's less than 300,000 red squirrels. Weirdly, in a way, in the UK we're really worried about them. In like the world, red squirrels are kind of fine. Like they're listed as being the least concerned. They're not like an endangered animal in the same way that a tiger is. Where there are not grey squirrels, red squirrels are doing great. But in the UK, they are endangered here. And that's bad, right? Because they are, like I say, a sort of natural part of the food chain. So one of those bits of the food chain getting taken away affects lots of other living things as well. I used to think, because I knew that grey squirrels were a problem, and you hear grey squirrels are killing red squirrels, and you picture like two squirrels having a fight and the grey squirrel winning. It's not quite like that. The grey squirrels are bigger, the grey squirrels eat the food of the red squirrels. They do actually steal food from the red squirrels, like the red squirrels hide the food and the grey squirrels come along like and take it away. So it's a bit of a proper versus situation. The grey squirrels also carry this disease called squirrel pox, but it doesn't make them feel bad, whereas it kills the red squirrels. So it's not like the grey squirrels' fault. They're not like rubbing their little paws together like, ma, 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 we will destroy you. They just happen to carry a disease that kills the red squirrel and it doesn't kill them. So the squirrel pox kills red squirrels off like 25% faster than they would do normally. Have you made a toilet roll out of paper? While you're doing that, We don't usually do any sort of quizzy questions in the Lego Story Show, but I was reading about, like, why are grey squirrels grey and red squirrels red? Because every time I looked it up, the internet would be like, camouflage! And I was like, but they're different colours and they live in the same place. They all live in trees, so what's that? So I've got some pictures here of red squirrels and grey squirrels, and I want you to see if you can tell which ones are which. So grey squirrels are, they're red-ish, brownish, they've got fluffy ears, and they're smaller. And grey squirrels are bigger, and they do not have fluffy ears, and they are grey-ish. Okay, have you got that? Red squirrels, small, fluffy ears, red-ish. Grey squirrels, not fluffy ears, grey-ish. Okay, let's have a look. You've got, how many pictures have you got here? I got a bit enthusiastic about this. Oh, sorry, you're still very zoomed in. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got 9 pictures of squirrels, but are they red or are they grey? Go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many red squirrels do you think there are on the screen? I'll just give you like a few seconds. Is number 1 red or grey? Is number 2 red or grey? Number 3 red or grey? Maybe it's not that hard. It's not massively obvious though, is it? Like if you just squint a bit and look at the screen, it's not like there's big splashes of grey on the screen and big splashes of red on the screen. So actually the colour, we call them red and grey squirrels, but... Should I tell you? Should we see how good you are at identifying? I mean, if you live in the UK, then it's basically, if you're looking at it, it's probably grey. Unless you live in Scotland. Okay, just before we do the answers. So yeah, there are now, I believe, 287,000 red squirrels living in the UK, down from 3.5 million, and 75% of them live in Scotland. So if you live in Scotland and you see a squirrel, there's a very good chance it could be a red. Everywhere else, you've been pretty lucky. They are around everywhere else, but you'd be a bit lucky. So here we go. This first one, look at it. Look at its tufty ears. That is definitely a red squirrel, isn't it? And it's quite reddy brown. This, well, actually, I haven't done it like that. I've done all the red ones first. That's a red squirrel. It's gorgeous, long, tufty red ears. That's a red squirrel. I mean, it's pretty grey, isn't it? It's got like reddy brown accessories, but we'll talk about this in a sec. That's a red squirrel. I know. What's going on with that dude? And that's classic red squirrel all over, isn't it? It's very chestnutty, browny red. And all the rest are greys. That's a grey squirrel. That is grey. It's the clues in the ears, isn't it? I thought that one might catch you out because that's a very chestnutty, browny, grey squirrel. But it is grey. There's no fluff on those ears at all. So it turns out that actually red squirrels go grey. They've got different coats. So our hair, sort of, we naturally molt as humans. Hair sort of falls out a bit at a time and grows back. Red squirrels do it kind of like all at once. So when it gets to be the winter time, the red chestnutty coat will fall out and they grow a much thicker, warmer for the winter, it's quite grey coat. Yeah, apparently like sort of greys, I guess, is quite good for camouflaging them, like in the winter. It's quite grey, isn't it? No leaves on the trees. You can tell I didn't really look that bit up. But anyway, yeah, they've got a less warm, very chestnutty red coat in the summer, and when it gets cold, they do kind of turn grey. Right. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so much. There's so much to say. So what have we done so far? The difference in their physical appearance. I want to talk about the nuts and how they hide their nuts, because that was interesting. And we've got to set up the activity as well, haven't we? Oh, so much to do. So we need to talk about their tails when we do the activity. You need a piece of card that fits on top of the mug. Like that. So if you haven't got a piece of card, or if your card's massive, can you just cut a piece of card so that it fits on top of the mug like that? And then we're going to put our toilet roll or homemade toilet roll on top. That's a bit wonky, isn't it? I'm going to trim my toilet roll so that it fits better. Let's talk a little bit about what they eat. Oh, I tell you what, no, while we're talking about coats, people yesterday on Facebook were telling me about black squirrels. So black squirrels are a thing. But I said that there were only 2 species of squirrel in the UK, and that is true. Black squirrels happened because there's this thing called a fox squirrel in America. And I mean, I'll show you a picture of a fox squirrel. I've put a question mark because it's just a squirrel, guys. I've put one of these is a fox squirrel and one of these is a grey squirrel. It's the same blooming squirrel. Look. One of these is a completely different species of squirrel, the internet tells me. It's a fox squirrel, and it's much bigger than the grey squirrel. I mean, I suppose fair enough, like leaves for scale, you can't really tell. This is a fox squirrel, and that's a grey squirrel. Same squirrel. I don't know, I'm not a biologist. But yeah, fox squirrels very occasionally have something happen to their DNA which makes them be black. So a fox squirrel that had this sort of thing in its DNA that was black, came from the US to England, was in a zoo, escaped from a zoo in they think like 1912, and bred, but it's actually like a fox squirrel crossed with a grey squirrel. So the black squirrel, you can see black squirrels in the UK. Apparently there's a lot of them around Cambridgeshire. But it's this fox squirrel that has mated, had babies with a grey squirrel. So they are grey squirrels. They're like, the species is grey squirrel, but they are coloured black for genetic reasons. Here's a picture of a black squirrel. They're amazing. I can't believe it. There's like 25,000, I think, black squirrels in the UK. So you've not got 0 chance of seeing them. Aren't they awesome? I mean, I guess they've got quite smooth ears, so they definitely look more like the grey squirrel than the red squirrel, don't they? So yeah, still technically only 2 species of squirrel in the UK, but come on, so good. Totally different vibe going on there with black squirrel. Let's talk about their food. So both of them eat similar foods, which is one of the reasons the red squirrel is in trouble. They all like hazelnuts. Hazelnuts to me seem like a really cool exotic food from where I am living in Yorkshire, but they are native to the UK. If you find a hazelnut which has been cut in half, it was probably eaten by a squirrel. That's how they do it. They split them neatly in half. If you find a hazelnut which has got a little hole in the side, it was eaten by a dormouse. Because squirrels are rodents, right? Along with mice and rats. They hide their nuts. It's called caching. If you like Pokemon, that's a thing, isn't it? You cache. But anyway, they hide their food. Squirrels do not hibernate. Red squirrels or grey squirrels. They don't hibernate. They get nuts. And they hide them all over the place. Why don't they hide all their food in one place? I know, I'm really exercising your brains with this Lego show today. If you're a squirrel and you're hiding your food for the winter, wouldn't it make more sense to put it all in one place so that you definitely know where it is? Because squirrels, they do forget. They hide their food, bury it in like shallow holes in the ground, all over the place. And then they forget about some of it. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you put it all in one place? Like, I just know that I come to the bottom of this tree. I have sort of said, given you a little clue. At teacher school, you learn that you shouldn't ask a question and then straight away give the answer. Teachers do that, you get a bit nervous. And you're just like, hey guys, what's this? Oh, they're getting bored, I'll just tell them. No, you have to give people really time to think. The answer is, because if another squirrel found it, they would nick it all, wouldn't they? And then you'd have 0 food for the winter. So they hide them all over the place, because then if a squirrel finds their food and steals it, they've still got some food. Apparently it's really cool. They're very clever squirrels. If another squirrel is watching, then they've actually studied squirrels. The squirrel will sort of pretend to hide something, but there won't be anything there to confuse squirrels that might be trying to steal their food. How good is that? So yeah, it sounds like a bad sort of bit of evolution, like why would a squirrel have evolved to do something where it forgets its food? It's actually big picture good, because it seems like a really small thing, but basically the squirrels are planting seeds, aren't they? Because they eat seeds, nuts. If you ever see a pine cone that looks like an apple core because it's all been eaten around, apparently that's something that red squirrels in particular, they like their seeds, but grey squirrels do it too. It's good because, yeah, the seeds that they forget about, the nuts that they forget about, grow into trees. So more trees, so squirrels, more food. Oh, yeah, how nature works. Grey squirrels are a massive pain, apparently, like stripping the bark off trees in Britain. So yeah, just FYI. Right. Oh, look at this red squirrel. No reason for me to tell you this, except it's so cute. Their ears get tuftier in the winter as well, apparently, keeping them warm. No. Right. Should we do our activity? Because I was looking at why squirrels have such bushy tails. They're so famous for their ridiculously bushy tails. And I looked it up, but I couldn't find... Like, a lot of people say a lot of stuff on the internet, and the problem is one person will say one thing wrong on the internet, and then loads of bloggers will read that, and then they'll write a blog, and the wrong information gets spread around. So if I Google why do squirrels have bushy tails, and the internet goes, oh, it's to keep them warm, like, that makes sense, but I'm not going to accept that. I have to really look into, like, what have scientists studied? Why do squirrels have bushy tails? It probably is to keep them warm. A lot of animals do that. You know, kind of use it as a blanket in the winter. They use it for balance in, like, when they're jumping from tree to tree. But one of the interesting things I read, the thing that really interested me as a physics teacher, is this thing called, well, we talked about it and we did the activity actually when we did a whole lesson about theme parks. So if you've got your activity, we're going to do it now. Mug, cardboard on top of the mug, toilet roll, homemade or not, on top of the bit of cardboard, and then you need to put the ball or the orange on top of here. We did this in the theme park lesson for the first time ever, and I couldn't believe that it worked, but it did work really well. Every time we do it, I'm like, it's not going to work today. I feel like my toilet roll's a bit wonky, but we'll see. There's this thing called momentum, okay? And how much momentum something has is to do with, like, how many particles are in its body and how fast it is going. We don't need to go into loads of the physics of this, but basically something that is really heavy and is going fast has a lot of momentum. You probably know this already. Like, if you imagine you're trying to cross a road, if there's a car coming and there's a lorry coming, you probably feel like you can cross in front of the car, whereas if it was a lorry, you wouldn't cross at the same time. And it's because you can just tell that it's going to be very hard for the lorry to stop. So the more momentum something has, the bigger it is, the faster it is, the harder it is to stop, basically. And another thing is called inertia, which is how hard it is to get going. So if you're sitting still in a chair, you've got quite a lot of inertia. It's quite hard to get going. Whereas if you're rolling down a hill, you don't have very much inertia at all. You've got a lot of momentum. It's hard for you to stop. Very roughly, inertia is how hard it is to get going, and momentum is how hard it is to stop. So when squirrels, they're just incredible at jumping, aren't they, from tree to tree with their little paws. You see them running across really tiny branches and then just leaping huge distances to the next branch. When that happens, they have a tendency to spin. So there's this thing called rotational inertia and rotational momentum. If you're spinning, it's really hard for you to stop spinning. So apparently the squirrel's tail helps them to stop spinning. Let's do the activity. I've done far too much talking. We need to see if we can get an orange in this mug. Every time I've done it on the internet so far, it has worked. And every time I've been convinced that it's not going to work. There's no way this is going to work. The idea is that the orange has a lot of inertia. The orange is, it's quite heavy, a lot of particles in the orange. The cardboard and the toilet roll are quite light, plus we're going to be pulling them. So we're going to pull away the cardboard, that's going to pull away the toilet roll, but the orange has some inertia. It's got a lot of mass, it's not moving, so it's going to kind of stay for a split second where it is, just long enough that when it does fall, it'll fall into the mug. This is not going to work. Clearly this is not going to work, but let's try it. I'm so nervous. It's not going to work. I'm pulling it. It worked again! How does this thing work? You know, like I say, like some things to do with physics, you can just sort of tell. You can just kind of feel like, oh yeah, that makes sense. This makes no sense to me. Really doesn't feel like this should be a thing. What brilliant activity. I didn't make this up. This is quite a classic physics activity to do with inertia. Do you get me? The cardboard is light and we're pulling it away. So we're helping it get out of the way. The orange has got inertia. It doesn't want anything as an orange, but it it's slow to get going. Unbelievable. So the squirrel kind of has the opposite of this, what this orange has. Squirrel is spinning this thing called rotational inertia, rotational momentum. It's spinning. That's not good, is it? If you're jumping through the air and you're trying to get to a branch and you're like, I mean, even if you've just fallen over from standing up to being on the ground, it's very disorientating, right? Like your eyes are kind of spinning all over the place as you fall. Like it's hard to grab hold of stuff. It's hard to do. What the squirrel does is it locks its eyes onto a thing and it uses its tail to stop itself rotating. So it's kind of acting like a rudder. That was the most interesting thing I read about the squirrel's tail. How scientists got this information? There's a video on YouTube of someone who's built something in their garden that catapults squirrels. I don't think the squirrels get hurt. It's like they sort of want to get the food. I haven't watched it actually. They want to get the food, but to get the food, they end up in a catapult and they get fired out of the catapult, but they do end up coming back. So the scientists were like, we're not going to do that because that seems really mean to squirrels. But we are going to study this video very carefully again and again and slow it down. And that's how they worked out that squirrels do this. They use their tail to sort of move in the opposite way to how they're spinning so that they can stay focused and grab onto that next branch. Yeah, I feel a bit dizzy just talking about it. The last thing I'll do is tell you about drays, and then we'll do the Lego story. A dray is the name for a squirrel nest. It had never occurred to me, actually. Squirrels don't hibernate, so they need to keep warm in the winter. And they live in drays, which is like a sort of football-shaped group of leaves, twigs, sticks. It looks very similar to a bird nest to me. If it's in the sort of, what would you call that? The crook of a tree? Like that's a tree, the branch coming off. If it's there, quite a high chance that it's a squirrel dray. Also, squirrel drays apparently are different to magpie drays. I don't know why I'm getting a pen. I'll just use my different colours. Squirrel drays have bits of moss and leaf in them, whereas a magpie likes it twigs only. So there you go. Yeah, have a look for a squirrel dray. I think, yeah, I definitely would have just said it was a bird's nest. Yeah, there's no way of telling whether it's a red squirrel dray or a grey squirrel dray unless you stand there for a bit and see a squirrel. I think that is everything that I wanted to tell you about red or grey squirrels. I had notes, but wait. Oh. I did. I had a page of notes carefully written out so that I wouldn't forget to tell you anything, and look what I did. I turned it into a toilet roll. I'm just going to unpick my toilet roll. But I think I've really said everything that I wanted to say. We've talked about grey squirrels who are not native to the UK. I'm about to tell you a story about how they got here. Red squirrels are native to the UK. They are endangered in the UK. 75% of the population of red squirrels that we have in the UK now are in Scotland. Thanks, Scotland. Wales gets a shout out in the Lego as well. I've talked about hazelnuts. I thought that was super cute, but squirrels cut them in half and dormice don't. We've talked about the different fur. They hide their nuts. Oh yeah, okay. Just the very last thing is getting run over by cars. Sorry, very sad. Squirrels have evolved, and it's a brilliant piece of evolution, makes perfect sense. Squirrels have evolved that if they're getting chased by a predator, something that wants to hunt them, they do this. They change direction really fast until they can find a tree to climb up to escape. Which makes perfect sense, right? You're a predator, you're trying to catch a squirrel, you're just about to get it and it goes, so you've got to go that way, and then it goes, brilliant way to get away. Unless cars have been invented and it's a car coming towards you and the car is coming like this and you're in the middle of the road going, it's not going to work, guys. So just be careful of squirrels and cars. Not a good mixture. They just tend to dart in front of the car repeatedly until the car catches up with them. Yeah, right, that's it. Cool. Let's go to Lego Story and tell you a story using Lego. There we go. Is that right? Oh, it's a bit zoomed in, isn't it? I think that's right. Okay, there we go. Lego story time. In 1890, bird enthusiast Eugene Shefflin released 60 starlings into Central Park in New York City in America. Here he is saying, this is probably fine. Starlings don't live in America naturally. Eugene was part of the American Acclimatization Society, a group dedicated to introducing foreign plants and animals into the country because, well, funsies. They're just nice, innit? The more the merrier. Places are richer and more interesting, aren't they? The more living things they have. Thanks to the work of Eugene and others, there are now 150 million starlings living in America, and they are considered an invasive species. In 2012, a survey suggested they'd done about $190 million worth of damage to blueberry, grape, apple, and cherry crops. They push American bluebird eggs out of their nests, they eat farm animals' food, they spread disease and poo everywhere, which is funny unless your taxes have to pay to clean it up. No one knew about invasive species though, did they, in the Victorian times? In the late 1800s, banker Thomas V. Brocklehurst went to America on a business trip and came back to his home in England with two adorable grey squirrels. Here they are. He kept them as pets for a bit and then he got bored of them. So he released them into Henbury Park. Here it is. This is exactly how it happened. These are the grey squirrels. They got released into this park near Macclesfield. And this just struck everyone as a wonderful, wonderful idea. So for the next 50 years, American grey squirrels got released into various parts of the British countryside. Here they are. You ready? They were released in London, Bournemouth, Berkshire, Northamptonshire, Oxfordshire, Staffordshire, Devon, Warwickshire, Northamptonshire. The squirrels found the country very much to their liking. Less than 10 squirrels was enough to establish a whole enormous family that spread around, making more squirrels. By 1960, it was easier to list the places where there were not any grey squirrels in the UK. Let's have a little look at a country in the UK that we often don't talk about. Wales, she says, trying not to do the accent. Those of us familiar with Wales, unfamiliar with Wales, would be forgiven for thinking that it was all just one bit of land. But it's not, guys. I know that because I just looked it up. The island of Anglesey, this bit circled here, is actually separated from the Welsh mainland. Ooh, look, there's a tiny little strip of water here. And the island of Anglesey had a really thriving red squirrel population until the greys arrived. Oh, sad times. Here we go. I'm sorry, I ran out of time and didn't do any more eyes. But here we are on the island of Anglesey with loads and loads of lovely red squirrels. And then, yeah, the grey squirrels got in, and by the 1990s, there were 3,000 grey squirrels calling Anglesey home, and only 40, we reckon, red squirrels left, living in a tiny little forest like Robin Hood and his merry men, except there were also women there because that's how populations work. Oops, sorry. Here we go. So only 40 red squirrels left. Being an island, getting rid of all the grey squirrels was a very difficult but not impossible task, and that's what the authorities decided they would do. Many local people agreed with the plan and many protested, but by 2013, Anglesey was free of grey squirrels, and now there are said to be about 700 red squirrels on the island today. However, life finds a way, doesn't it, champs? And keeping grey squirrels off the island of Anglesey is very much an ongoing job. Odd ones have been discovered over the years and removed and their DNA tested, and it turns out that, yeah, they weren't from the original populations. They were from the Welsh mainland, and they were getting over to the island of Anglesey by sneaky means. So they got removed. But actually, quite recently, they did find a family of 16 grey squirrels, and they had to remove them. The good news for red squirrel fans is that the getting across the river by sneaky means works both ways. And in 2009, The first red squirrel was found living in woodland on the Welsh mainland. Ah. Now, not every animal released from the wild into the wild becomes an invasive menace, I should point out. In 1936, just before a man called Henry Courtney Brocklehurst went off to fight in the Second World War, he released some wallabies that he had got from Tasmania near mainland Australia and kept in a zoo for rich people reasons. He released them from his zoo onto a rocky area of Staffordshire called the Roaches. By 1960, there were about 80 wallabies just bounding around in the English countryside, living happy, free lives, not doing anyone any harm as far as anyone could see, and doing tourism an awful lot of good. Sadly, a lot of very cold winters reduced the population, and even though it was topped up, locals haven't reported a sighting for many years. Although coincidentally, actually, one lone zoo escapee did bound into town in 2004, but we think that was unrelated. If you'd like to see an animal newly arrived in the UK that is doing well, you might not need to look any further than your park or garden. The tree bumblebee arrived in the UK in 2001 and has settled in nicely. It looks like a honeybee, but it's bigger and fluffier. It's got a ginger top and a white tail. If you see big gangs of them swarming around a nest, don't worry about it, guys. They're just males in search of a queen, and they don't have a stinger. Most people won't find them as exciting as a squirrel or a wallaby, but they are fluffy, and their poo is much easier to clean. The end. Right, you lot, that is the end of my Lego story show about red squirrels versus grey squirrels. I hope that you enjoyed it. I learned an awful lot. I knew that grey squirrels were kind of defeating red squirrels, but I didn't really know why. And I also didn't know that they had different coloured coats. So I've really, now's a really good time actually, isn't it? We're just getting to spring if you're watching live. Now's a good time to look up where red squirrels are found in roughly your area and go and see if you can see some. Okay, I'm going to go over to my Facebook page because you'll have noticed there are no comments on YouTube videos, but, excuse me, whenever I'm live on YouTube, I always put a post on my Facebook page saying, please comment on this post and I will read it at the end. I don't say it in that voice. But anyway, I'm going over to my Facebook page now. If you do not have a Facebook account and you cannot comment and say hello, to be honest, that's good. Like, Facebook is a super evil corporate machine. They also are almost entirely responsible for me earning a living through this job, so I can't diss them. But yeah, if you don't have a Facebook account, don't worry about it. But if you do have a Facebook account, awesome, go and leave me a comment. I will very quick. Oh, I'm seeing some red squirrel toys, guys. This is nice. I am gonna quickly say to you that all of my lessons are free. All of my shows are free. Everything that I do is free. I don't do any like Zoom lessons. I don't do any one-to-ones. I haven't got the time. I keep getting asked. I'm like, this is very much a full-time job. If anything, I would like to do less. Anyway, how it works is most people who watch are chipping in towards my wages. It's so amazing. I think we're getting to the lockdown anniversary, aren't we? I've been doing this for 6 years. I just started doing it like for fun, really, and glory. And then you wanted me to keep going. So now you all chip in towards my wages. If you go to my coffee page, you can click the link on Facebook that says sign up. You can click the link in hopefully most of my Facebook posts. You can click the link in the description of this video, or you can go to my about section on YouTube and click the link there, or search Coffee Theatre Science. You send me £5 a month. You can cancel any time. If you can't work out how to do it, message me and I'll do it for you. But yeah, £5 a month funds this entire business because there's enough of you signed up. Such a good business model. And I send you very nice things to say thank you. I'm not going to bang on about what I send you because I feel like I've banged on enough and I want to get to my Facebook comments. But you will receive in the post, real post, some really nice things if you sign up now. Theatre of Science magazine, a little model satellite, 2 different pairs of awesome glasses that make you see different things. All right, let's have a look at these comments. Edmund, what are you saying? Edmund thought that another animal might eat the squirrel's food, such as wild boar. Nice. And if it's all in one place, then exactly, yes, you got it. Hey, Jancy! Oh, you live near the Isle of Wight and have seen red squirrels there. Yes, we have grey squirrels in our garden oak tree. Oh, and they chase each other around the tree. Yes, I have seen this. Lyra, hello. Oh, it's Lyra's 12th birthday. Are you kidding? Happy birthday. She says, okay, Lyra's 12th birthday, so we have to do everything that she says. Can you do a Lego story on star signs? That is brilliant. Yes, we should. We should. Where am I going to write that? Let's write it on here. I have got a nice big piece of paper, and now I've just started writing stuff on the board again. Star signs is such a good one. Oh, that's great. And think of the activities we could do. So good. Ravens, crows, rooks and jackdaws. Yeah, we definitely should. I'm just going to write crows versus. Yeah, because I get all of those confused all the time. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay. And my friend Ava wanted me to do one about nature, and that is a lot of nature there. Hello, Thomas and Isabel. You're in Albania. Amazing. Hello. Oh, my friend is friends with like one of the past like leaders of Albania. I don't know. They're always name dropping Albania. It makes me think of them. That's nice. I hope you're having a lovely time. Sounds like an amazing place. Although I've never been. Hello. That song should be the theme for all of the Lego stories. Sebastian Humphrey, as I was singing it, I was thinking, it's a good theme tune. I can't remember what I was saying now. No, I can't remember. We saw our first red squirrel on the Isle of Wight. Sebastian, Isle of Wight is a place to go for red squirrels. Hello, Arthur. Recommends the Lake District for seeing red squirrels. The Lake District is not a million miles away from me. Okay, that's a good tip. Thank you. Hello, Jacob. Hi, Jacob. Hi. How are you? Are you okay? I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. You all right? Oh, really? Okay. Well, I hope that's going all right. Good luck. Hello, Imogen and Ophelia. I just tailed off there, didn't I? Started off funny and then I was like, I don't know where this is going. Imogen and Ophelia, hello. Hi, Lara. I like red squirrels. They are cute and are natives. Yes, from Mr. T. Trevs in Lincolnshire. Wait, what? From Mr. T, comma, Trevs. I'm so confused about if your name is Mr. T. Trevs, which is an awesome name, or Mr. T. Trevs in Lincolnshire. Or do you mean, is Trevs a place? Is it Trevs in Lincolnshire? And you're anyway, thank you for that. Thank you very much. Hello, Tiger and Bird and Banjo. Oh, Sherlock and Aurora saw red squirrels on the Isle of Wight. Okay, so clearly we know now what the capital of the red squirrels is. That's where they all are. What are you showing me? Is this a gorgeous little toy? It is! Aurora, no! You got this toy to celebrate seeing red squirrels on the Isle of Wight. Oh, it says Isle of Wight on its tummy. Look at this ear fur. That is impressive. That is a very scientifically accurate, I believe. I mean, they don't have Isle of Wight written on their tummies today, but apart from that, that is some very impressive fluff. It's a very summery red squirrel. Yes, love it. It was very interesting hearing about red squirrel populations. The island of Anglesea's red squirrel population is apparently the most genetically diverse. They got some from the zoo, I think, and like sprinkled them onto the island to help out. Hello, Jack. Whoa, 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 whoa. How did I not know this about you? Jack, who's been coming to these lessons for ages, lives on the Isle of Anglesea. What? Where we only... Yeah, okay. So Jack is telling us this, I think, before the Lego story. Jack, we live on the island of Anglesea where we only have red squirrels. The greys have been eradicated. Sightings of greys are meant to be reported so that they can be... Well, you get the idea. Apparently, greys have been spotted swimming across the stretch of water that runs between us and the mainland. Sneaky means! Or crossing the bridges on foot. Mine was in a little boat, but okay, should have been swimming. Crossing the bridges on foot. Apparently, squirrels quite often hide under car bonnets as well, like not on purpose. I guess if you've just driven your car, it's quite warm, so they like make nests there. They store nuts there quite often. It can really damage cars, and they literally travel around the country in people's cars. It is quite a common thing. Like they've genetically tested squirrels and been like, wow, this group of squirrels is not related at all to the other squirrels in the area. It's more related to those squirrels miles away, and it's because they've probably travelled there in a car at some point and then started breeding. Yes, Jack, I did hear about that. I was wondering about that, how if you live on the Isle of Anglesea, you are supposed to report grey squirrel sightings because then the authorities come and remove the grey squirrels. But maybe you feel mean. Maybe you don't want the grey squirrels to get removed. So you might not want to report it. But then if you don't report it, the grey squirrels could very quickly start a little family, which obviously starts a big family. And then you've got not as many red squirrels. It's difficult, isn't it? Difficult dilemma for you. You just have to keep your head down, like, don't see any squirrels. Hello, Kai, for when we watch on Catch Up tomorrow. Hi, Kai. Hi. I'm so sorry. There should be some sort of fast track system where you get said hi to first if you're not actually watching, so that you can just hear your name and then go. But no, I'm sorry. Hello, Zoe and Mum. All right, hiya. Hello, Aurelia. Oh, is that a drawing? Aurelia's been drawing a strawberry. I thought this was a model strawberry. Oh, right, from the photo. The shading was so good. I thought it was I thought you'd made one out of clay or something. That is gorgeous. We learned just last week, didn't we, that all these little yellow bits are fruits. Even now as I say that, I'm like, that's clearly wrong. No, these are fruits, seeds wrapped up in a very, very tight little bit of fruit. And this red thing is like extra fruit. I can't remember the biology name. I'm going to call it extra fruit. Thanks, Aurelia. Hello, Seren. Oh, yes. Now, this is near me. We're excited to go see the red squirrels at the Yorkshire Arboretum. I can never say arboretum. Arboretum? Place where there's lots of trees. When they move back in after Easter. That's what I need to go and do. Ah, howdy, Alice. It's Alice Hospital Day again. I hope my appointment is late though, so I can watch the whole of Lego Story Show. Oh my goodness. Never ever has a bigger compliment been thrown at Theatre of Science that I hope my hospital appointment is late. You make the best squirrel, Lara. Oh, Alice. You make the best Alice. I hope you're okay. I mean, are you listening to this? Maybe you've gone in. That would be good timing for you if you were in by now. Ugh, I hope you're all right. Hello, I can smell where you are. What a pain for you. Hello, Casper and Iris. How are you today? I'm very well, thank you. I'm feeling great. How are you? You all right? Good. Just nice, isn't it? Once the weather gets warmer, the nights get lighter. It makes a massive difference to my mood. Mr. 5 said the place would be too full if you have all the nuts in the same place. That's a really good point, isn't it? That's a really good point. And it would be more obvious, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're quite right. Like a few nuts just kind of hidden in a hole. That's quite difficult to find. But you're just piling up all your nuts in the same place. You might as well be waving a flag like, here are the nuts! Get your nuts here! Yeah, it's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that. I wonder if the person who designed helicopters studied squirrel tails. Unknown. Hello, Emma! No, Emma! This is your first time watching the Lego Story Show live. No, it is an epic capital letters day. It is. Welcome to this live thing. It blows my mind every time. I know we should all be over this by now. The fact that like I am talking and you're in another place, but the sound is getting to you with what, like 12 seconds difference or something? So weird, isn't it? It's so weird. And the same people who say, oh, like physics is really boring, I hate physics, are just totally fine with the fact that this is a thing that humans have invented that can happen. Amazing. Near us on Mersey Island in Essex, there are red squirrels, but we've never seen them there. Interesting. I have never heard of Mersey Island. It's making me want to explore the islands of the UK. We like your Lego squirrels. Oh, thanks. There are Lego squirrels, but yours are better. Thanks, mate. Thanks. There are rope bridges. Oh, okay, this is Jack. Living on the island of Anglesey right now. There are rope bridges across some of the roads here from one clump of trees to another that are bisected by a road so they can tie rope across. Really? Whoa! Whoa! Aurelia has red squirrel embroidery. Okay, next level. Hello, Ed. Ed has sent the most excellent gif of a little red squirrel doing, I was going to call it a dance. It's a shimmy. It's shimmying. Aurelia, let's have a look at your red squirrel. Whoa! Look at... This is a lot of things that we've done in Theatre of Science all in the same place. This is a fly agaric mushroom, right? Fly agaric. Oh, so gorgeous. No offence to you, Squirrely. I'm actually just completely drawn in by this mushroom. I love it. I love how is that flat, or have you actually made that come up? So much texture. Oh, that's stunning. That's all I have to say about that. That is my review. Like that. That's why I'm not a reviewer. Because it's hard to write that. Okay, I guess I'll refresh and then I'll go, because that is my last lesson for the week, but it is not the last theatre of lesson for the week, because at 2:30 my friend Tempest is doing a lesson on Norse mythology, Othin, which is like Odin, but the proper way of saying it, I know, right, who knew, Othin's wedding. And they've got an excellent costume for you and some excellent Old Norse pronunciation, and they're going to tell you a story. And they're going to just tell you loads of stuff, actually. It was just like jam-packed with cool facts when I watched it yesterday. So I will be watching it again. I probably won't be there because, do you know what? If some of you have watched Tempest lessons, I don't know, I'm going to mention this to them. I think it's better when I'm not there, because it feels like it's more them and you. And they're like building a relationship with you in the same way that I've got a relationship with you. And then when I'm there, we just sort of chat. I don't feel like it's as good as when I'm there. So I might go around their house and then just like skulk. I don't know. Anyway, I should be saying this to them, not you. I'll find out what they want me to do. But I think it would be better if I just skulked silently. Xavier asks, OMG, how did I not look this up? How did I not look this up? Xavier has asked the most obvious question that I didn't look up. I think the answer is no, but I am actually going to look it up right now. Can you guess what question they asked? Come on. Oh, okay, interesting. BBC Science Focus magazine is where I go for a lot of my scientifically accurate information. So Xavier has asked me, can grey squirrels and red squirrels breed? Can they have babies? So I found this article on BBC Science Focus magazine saying, and the title is, why do red and grey squirrels not interbreed? So that's an answer, isn't it? They are different species. Now, it's a bit of a myth that different species can like never breed with each other, but this says being different species means that they are not compatible. They can't reproduce with each other. Yeah, they evolved in different places. Oh, they've put hedgehogs and porcupines don't interbreed either. I think this is wildly simplistic because there's a much bigger difference between a hedgehog and a porcupine, I believe, than there is between a red and a grey squirrel. Like we've just looked at how a fox squirrel and a grey squirrel can interbreed. But yeah, apparently they're too different to interbreed. It's complicated, isn't it? There's loads of different reasons why. I learned quite recently, let's get a bit of Lego to show you, because I just thought this was super cool. I'd never thought about it before. What have I got here? Great, so you guys love it when I start talking about eggs and sperm. So to make a new animal, you get sperm from the male, an egg from the female, and they have to join together, and that makes a new. So if you imagine like this is the egg of a squirrel that's come from the female reproductive system, and this is the sperm of the grey squirrel, which has come from the male reproductive system. When the egg and the sperm meet, there's like, it is a bit like Lego. They've got like special receptors on them that can join together, sort of chemically join together. So the egg and the sperm join together, that makes one complete teeny tiny little baby animal basically, which then grows and grows and grows. Okay, we've done this a lot on Theatre Science. 50% of the DNA that you need to make a squirrel here, 50% here, get it together, you've got 100% of the genetic material you need to make a squirrel, you've got a grey squirrel. So when animals are different species, apparently it means that like it's like their sperm and the egg just can't kind of lock together. It's all just to do with like particles, like atoms on the egg and the sperm. They just don't fit together in the right way. It'd be like if this was a grey squirrel sperm and this is a red squirrel egg, like there's just no, you can't, that's not gonna make a squirrel. So now you understand. I thought that was cool. I just like thinking about sperm and eggs as having like, as being like Playmobil and Lego, and that's why a horse can't have babies with a frog. Also, there's some size issues as well. Let's move on. Xavier, great question. Could have talked about that for longer. Won't. Lyra, 12th birthday, happy birthday. This is a comment. Is someone saying happy birthday? Yes! Humphrey and Sebastian saying happy birthday. That's nice. There's Arthur, Sebastian, Humphrey, Thomas and Isabel, Jacob, Imogen, Philia, Mr. T. Oh, we've got a reply. We've got a reply. His initial, it's not a place. It's Mr. T. Okay, cool. I love that. Mr. T is a great. Should I start calling myself like Mrs. L? It doesn't sort of work. Mrs. L. Doesn't work as well, does it? Sounds like something out of an old Christmas song. Mrs. L. No, Mr. T is better. I'll call you Mr. T. Hello. You commented in the wrong bit. It's Rose. Rose, did I accidentally call you Isaac earlier? I feel like I might have accidentally called you Isaac. Sorry. Rose. Hello, Rose. I'll say your name a few times, Rose, to make up for Isaac Gate earlier. You commented on the wrong bit, but now you are here. Thank you. By the way, those squirrels are not to scale. They are not to scale. I should have put a sign on them that said not to scale. There's Kai, there's Jack, Zoe and Mum, Ellen, Emily and Mam. Oh, hello. Picture of grey squirrel. Brilliant. Picture of grey squirrel on a fence. Whoa! I was about to go, oh, it's so cute. Actually, it looks really angry and a bit freaked out. But it's a very good example of how they can be quite chestnutty. Isn't that gorgeous? It looks like you've taken a real... Is it just that... What's going on there? Do you know what I mean? It looks like a really artistic... It's like a proper studio headshot. Like this squirrel's gone, do you know what? I'm going to splash out. I'm going to spend a few £100 on some really nice photos. That's gorgeous. So much detail. So it really is a myth, isn't it? That grey squirrel has got quite a lot of red on it. And red squirrels have got quite a lot of grey on them. Okay, we better, I think, oh, Henry is here. Henry has also been to Anglesey. How much do I want to go to Anglesey? A couple of years ago, we saw red squirrels on Anglesey. We didn't expect to see any. Then we saw them in the car park. Oh, I love that. I love that when you're like, oh, probably don't get your hopes up. Kids, don't get your hopes up. We're probably not going to see it. Oh, there's one there. Cool. Well, today was a good day, whatever happens now. Oh, yes. See, Rose is loving Aurelia Strawberry. That is very cool. Yes. Oh, Anglesey. Yeah, Anglesey. Seth has been to Anglesey several times. I'm feeling very left out of the Anglesey club. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's Mr. Fives. Mr. T. Is that Mr. T? That's your comment, yeah, about the nuts just piling up. I love that. I would make such a bad squirrel. I'll just put them all in the same place. It's just easier. Oh, no! The children are doing the experiment over and over while listening to the comments. Oh, nice! It's such a good activity. I'm not going to do it. That's boring for you. You've seen me do it, but it is so good. Oh, that's nice. Rose saying hi to Jessica and Aurelia. Oh, Arthur's got a cuddly red squirrel toy as well. Let's have a look. Aurelia has multiple squirrels wearing like cool accessories. Love it. There's Jack with his rope bridges comment, and there's another red squirrel from Ed eating a pine cone. Beautiful. All right, let's have a look at these toys and then we'll go. The tufty ears. They do have tufty ears. And let's see. Oh, okay, so good. So this is our first grey squirrel toy without the tufty ears and with a very large, what is that, an acorn, and some red squirrels. Oh, you've got one of them. Oh, I keep seeing these in shops. I really want one of these. Okay, that's cool. That's cool seeing. They do actually look really good in real life, don't they? Right, you lots. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for joining me. So next week is the last week before the Easter holidays. I just follow the York term times, and sometimes they're 8 weeks, sometimes they're 6 weeks. This time they were only 5 weeks. So we've got one more Vikings lesson left next week. One more Lego Story Show. I don't know what it's about, but you've given me some brilliant ideas. Tempest over on Theatre of Knowledge is doing their lesson at 2:30 today, and then they're doing another one next week as well. So there's still plenty of fun times ahead. I'm going to go. Thank you so much to everyone who signed up to pay my wages. I will put some nice things in the post for you. And yeah, I'll see you next week for something. Bye.